Welcome back to the Mom Life Podcast. That was intense.
Probably scared all the moms off now.
Well, that's what they get. That's what Tina gets for making me do it. So,
we
hey, trying something new.
We really need to come up with a solid intro.
I was trying something new. It's the first time. I'm a beginner.
Oh. Yes, you are.
See what you did there.
I see what you did. That's a good point about being a beginner and trying something new, even if it sucks a little bit.
So that can be a little uncomfortable. So, speaking of beginners, that's what we're going to talk about today is beginners, what it's like to be a beginner, and all the feelings that come with being a beginner. But then what happens when you're no longer a beginner and the feeling that comes with that, and when you overcome that and where that can take you. So let's just talk about being a beginner in the gym and what that looks like for our members and some of the things that they're feeling before they get started. And it probably goes way back. Like well before the time they actually stepped foot into here, they went through a series of feelings that I think we should probably start with touching on. Like, you know, I would say when somebody starts here, they've thought about it for an extended period of time. The thought didn't just happen and then next day they call and 2 days later they're in here. What do you think?
That would be an awesome progression,
it
but
sure would.
it's not a real one. I would say for some people, the fear of movement in a gym can go all the way back to like PE.
Oh, I bet it does.
Only
Yeah.
because I've had people tell me that was just something like they can trace back, like kind of the fear around movement in front of other people all the way back to something like that. And that, so then that's a pretty long time to carry around gym-anxiety.
Gym-anxiety, some story.
We've also had a ton of times where, you know, somebody said they were with a trainer back in the 90s and, you know,
The 90s are so long ago.
they beat the shit out of them and now they're just afraid of all trainers or all gyms because of what happened.
Yeah, or associating the gym with something that that hurt and beat them up, and now it's like I don't want to be hurt or beat up, and so therefore I just will avoid the gym because I only associate it with that.
Yeah.
I don't associate it with feeling good or feeling better or doing something better. I associate it with I got hurt. I didn't like the way it made me feel, or even the people who have tried to go to the gym and they go all in the first week, the first workout, and so then they're sore.
Yeah, and they may not even ever experience it. These are just things they've heard. And that's been enough to scare them and say, oh gosh, I've just heard about what it's like to work out and what it feels like to get started and the pain that people have been in. You know, that's just the physical side of potentially starting an exercise, being a beginner. Now just think of all the non-physical parts and the who's going to be there. What are the coaches like? Who's going to be watching me? You know, the list is pretty long.
Yeah, I mean, the fear of the unknown is enough to make someone decide that I'm just not going to go. Like, you just make the decision and say, like, there's just too many things that I'm going to worry about, so therefore I will take all these other feelings that I'm having, which might be, you know, not feeling good, poor energy, lack of understanding about anything to do with nutrition, whatever those things are, but you're willing to accept all of the things that you're feeling where you're like, maybe it would make me feel better, because you're just so afraid of trying something new. It stays better to stay comfortable. Even staying stuck and comfortable might feel better than doing that scary first step into somewhere new, like a gym.
Yeah, apparently can be a very scary thought. And from the outside looking in, I get it. Everything that people post and when you see gym ads and all these things, it's intimidating looking. And that's why I think we try to do our best to knock that down as best we can and make people feel as safe and comfortable as possible. But I get why people might be a little bit scared of what the heck's going on in there.
Yeah, I knew we were going to talk about this today. So last night in my 6:30 group, I was talking to Tara, one of the other coaches, about what we were talking about on the podcast today. And it brought up a great conversation with the group about they all kind of reminisce to their first days. And we have people who've been in that group who've been here for 6 months. And I've had somebody who's been here since I started training back in 2018. And it just was a good reminder to me for all of them and anyone out there listening is like, we all start somewhere as a beginner. Like anything we do, starting with learning how to walk, is you're a beginner at it. And there's going to be a transition period where it is going to feel different and uncomfortable. It might feel hard. It might create feelings that make you want to quit or not do it. But ultimately, the cool part for me last night was hearing all those people talk about how great it felt to go from being a beginner to somebody who can say that they work out a couple days a week. And that's the feeling that we're wanting to get more people to.
You are the only one of us three who worked out here before coaching. Mm-hmm. Where were your feelings from then? Can you remember back?
I mean, coming into the gym, I mean, I had to bring somebody with me. I didn't want to do it alone. That's Bill. He was, he said, I will join with you. That's what it took to get me through the door into working with somebody, doing something that, even though I had maybe been into a gym before, I didn't, I had all the feelings that a typical beginner would have. Like, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know if I was doing it properly. I avoided everything that I didn't want to do. Like, maybe I was like, well, I should be doing this exercise, but it's like, I actually don't know how, and it looks really hard. So guess what? I'm just not going to do it. And so for me, I can just say that I needed somebody with me. I needed support from somebody that made me feel more comfortable or safer, not because I thought Jeff was unsafe or made me uncomfortable. That wasn't it at all. It was just something that I knew I needed at the time, and it didn't actually take that long for me to be like, okay, I don't actually need that extra layer, because then, I was in a small group. And I think that's something, one of the things of all the things that we do well is we have the small groups. And I think that's a great place for a beginner to have support, is from the community around them and just the people that they get to see and work with.
Yeah. Going into anything new with somebody else who's also new is probably the easiest transition or the easiest way to go about doing that. And that's why we're doing a beginners group starting next month. And it's going to be for a group of 3 to 4 people tops that will start this experience together, brand new, in the same position, same boat, haven't exercised. Like, that will be one of the qualifications, is that you can't be, working out at home and then now just join this beginner's group. Like, you got to truly be coming from a point of, I haven't moved in who knows how long, and I want to join a group of people who are doing the same thing, and we're going to go through that journey together. You'll have a coach that's working with you guys specifically, and without anybody else. There might be a couple other people in the gym, but you're going to have a coach guiding you and taking you through the journey with a group of others. And we've done these in the past, and they've worked out well. And some of, like the last one we did, that group's still together, and we're talking over a year later. Oh,
it's like a year and a half later. That was, it's been about almost 18 months that they started last year. So they're rocking and rolling. And my favorite part about that group is that all 3 of them have told me more than once that they can't believe they're still here. And I don't take that as like a negative, like, I don't take that as like something like, oh, what do you mean? Like, I take that as like, it's the first time they've been sticking with something consistently, of something they didn't think they could do. And for a beginner, that's the best feeling in the world, is to transition from the I didn't think I could to I am. And then as a coach, wouldn't you guys agree, like watching somebody watching someone coaching somebody through something they didn't know they were capable of to watching them excel at it is, I mean, it's why we do it.
Yeah. And the good thing about, like, while they still work out together, they don't need each other anymore. You know, they show up at different times. They come with different groups. You know, if they miss a day, different coaches, all the different things and fears, they've overcome all those. And now, you know, they're kind of like the veterans, you know, if somebody comes in. So and we see that with a lot of people. You know, lots of people have started with a friend, and then after they got in the door, it took 2 weeks to realize, hey, this doesn't actually work for my schedule. I'm going to try a different time. And the comfort, you know, happens quickly, that people are able to switch and not need the support of somebody else. And they felt comfortable enough to be here. And, you know, I'm confident it's one of the things we do the best is get people started from the ground up. I would challenge we do it as well as any other place. And, you know, from the very first steps all the way through the whole process of getting somebody going and keeping them going.
Okay, so let's go through what that process would look like. So if somebody is out there listening and they're like, okay, I'll think about it. What is the first thing they need to do?
First thing is they got to let somebody know.
Ask for help. Raise your hand.
They got to put their hand up, and they got to acknowledge, like, hey, I'm looking for something. And one of us will reach out to you, or if you message us, you know, we'll send you a message back. And the goal is to set up a time for you to come into the gym. And we try to set up a time where maybe there's nobody here, and you can just walk through this door and not worry about somebody else having to worry about who's going to see me there, or what they're going to think. Take those things off the plate. You're not going to exercise. It's just walk in the door, meet one of us personally, and discuss what it is that you're looking for.
I'm going to go through a couple questions I get when we go through that process. Do I have to work out when I come in?
No.
You're
not going to.
Are you expecting me to work out?
You will not work out, because we want to know more about you before we just throw you into movement.
Am I committed to anything by just walking in?
Zero commitment.
Okay. All right.
That, you know, by walking in, we need to make sure this is a good fit for both of us. Right. It's a two-way street. It's got to be, you know, it's got to be a good fit for both sides, and make sure this is where you should be. This is the right place for you. And if it's not, that's okay.
Okay. So we come in, we meet, we decide it's a good fit. What do the next steps look like after that?
For me, whenever we got to find a time that works best for your schedule. And then also just looking for a group that we think is going to make you feel the most comfortable. Who are the people that you're going to succeed with? You know, what, you know, same similarities, you know, might be close, find people in your age range with kids, you know, whatever that may be. We want to try to find a group that would be best if it fits your time. But most importantly, finding a time that works for you.
Do you have lots of times available? We have a lot of times available.
We have 10 classes.
We have 10 times a day, Monday through Thursday, that you can come in, starting at 5 a.m., ending at 7:30 p.m. So finding a time is never actually a problem. That works.
Okay. Let's see. So we've found a time. What is my first workout going to look like? Are you going to beat me up? Am I going to be really sore?
No.
Why not?
Because we actually want you to come back.
I always tell people, this is going to be the easiest workout you've ever had.
Yeah, that's what we want it to be. I would much rather you walk out of here saying, I know that felt good, but I know I could have done more. Mm-hmm. Perfect. The last thing I want you to do is crawl out of here and say, I couldn't have done one more thing if they asked me to. That would be the worst case scenario. And you're going to have, you know, one of us is going to be by your side the entire time.
Yeah, the hardest part of the first workout is probably when you open our door to walk through, because it's
the heaviest weight.
That's the heaviest part of it, the hardest part of it. Now, the second workout, you'll probably beat me up then, right?
No.
Darn it. When am I going to get beat up?
Not until your body is truly ready for it.
And even then,
the goal is about beating you up.
It's not about a beat up. It's about
progression.
Yeah, it's about progressing and feeling progress and knowing, like, I think I can even remember that to my first workouts. Like, it was, so we brought this up last night too. We talked about how the 6:30 group cannot eat dinner before a workout. And it's not because I'm beating them up. It's because their body is not going to digest a full meal, right? And I had memories of that too. Like I remember going to a workout and eating dinner and in an evening time. And then I'm like, it only took one time to know that was not a good, that was not the best choice. But it was just funny, like just listening to them talk about those beginning stages and what we learn, and going back to the time where you can be like, you can look at 1 month later of when you started and be like, I remember the first time I did that movement, I couldn't do it. And going along the lines of beating somebody up, like, so it doesn't feel like a beat up at all. It just feels like you're getting stronger.
And when you agree that most of the time it's, sometimes the client will ask for more of a challenge, or we can see it and we'll say, hey, how about this? And they'll go, yeah, okay. There's not an argument or a fight over, or they're not feeling punished.
Yeah.
They're wanting the challenge.
The feelings of anxiety turn to feelings of confidence. And that is the transformation that is the most exciting to watch.
Yeah. And for when somebody's first starting, what I like to explain this first couple workouts is all about seeing how your body is going to respond to the stress that we're putting on it. How is it going to respond to the exercises that we do? And that's why we start simple, and it may feel super easy. And then they wake up like, oh, wow, I guess I haven't done that in a long time, which is most everybody here. I would say 90% of our members started from a very beginner's level. Maybe 10% of people come in with some type of fitness background or have been doing something, and then this is just a change or whatever. But I would say 90% are coming in from this beginner stage. And again, they really have no idea what the body's going to do because they've never done it before. So
yeah, and they've never given themselves enough time or a long enough chance to do it consistently. And so even if you're somebody who every now and then you're like, I'm going to start up this fitness routine, and I kind of touched on this a little bit at the beginning, but where you kind of go in too hard, you go all in, and you are like, I'm going to do this myself. I don't need any help. You go to the gym, you do a really hard workout because it's what you did 5 months ago when you had worked out, and so you're like, well, I should just be able to pick back right up where that was, and realizing like, okay, no, actually I do need to ease in. And again, that's where we come in, and we do that part really well, like Jeff said, because we want you to walk out of here with gas in the tank, so that you can come back and keep building. And then as you get stronger, everything increases and everything feels better, and then you start doing the things that you wanted to do, but you were just too afraid. And
yeah, I've just seen the story play out way too many times in the past. Like, sure, we've had moments where we did let people go too hard, and then they come back like, oh, crap, I'm really sore. And that's just the worst feeling that I can get, is if somebody did say that. And it happens sometimes because we don't know, people move at different paces, and some people have literally they just work at a desk. So just doing the bare minimum is going to make them a little bit sore. But I think we get it right a vast majority of the time. And that's what makes people want to come back. Like, okay, I felt good. I survived. We message them the next day. Hey, how is the body feeling? They're usually pleasantly surprised. Like, I don't feel too bad. I thought it was going to be worse. And that's the best response I can get, is if they thought it was going to be worse and their body actually feels pretty good. Sweet, let's do it again tomorrow. So that's the process, what it's going to look like, I think, unless I'm leaving any part out that you guys can think of.
No, I think we've covered it all. And so we have this opportunity coming up to join us and to join a beginner group, especially if this is something that has caused you some fear and anxiety over any amount of time in the past. But this is a great opportunity, and it's coming soon.
Yeah, and it's one that doesn't pop up very often, because it's rare that we have time slots that kind of, for whatever reason, have gotten a little bit low. And so when this happens, this is the perfect time to introduce new people, because the gym is less crowded, and it's just a great opportunity to get a group started. with the least amount of pressure as possible and the most comfortability as possible. So if you're on the fence about it, like I said, we don't really kick off too many beginner groups very often. It's been
like
18 months.
year and a
Yeah,
half?
beginning of last year,
Okay.
beginning of 2025 was the last time we had space to do this.
So
So,
don't wait another year and a half.
Yeah.
no.
So if this is something you're interested in, let us know so we can get you on this. Like I said, we were only going to take 3 or 4 people at that time slot. So I'm meeting with somebody today.
Uh-oh, so we might be even
Might
have less,
down to
less
2 or 3 spots.
left. Okay.
So
All right. So reach out to one of us. You can send a message to the Pulse business page. You can send a message to any of us. We will get right back to you and take you through the next steps. And I promise you it's very easy. And again, it's no commitment. Let's just talk about what it would look like and if it would be a good fit for you.
yeah. And one last thing. Well, I thought about it. I meant to talk about it earlier, but like a true beginner is really one of my favorite people to work with. Like it's really exciting for me to see somebody like almost like the worse off they are, the more excited I get to work because I know how big the change
Yep.
can actually be.
sure.
Like, man, I see this person walk in. It's like, this is going to be so cool when this person who can barely walk in these doors is all of a sudden doing all kinds of stuff. And so to me, it's the most exciting.
Yeah, I
It
would
is
agree.
the most exciting, and we all get to witness that like as time goes on and as it progresses. And that's why we are always so big on celebrating wins, because everybody out in the gym started here as a beginner, and now we get to watch every workout like something new happens. And if you don't stop and take time to enjoy it, you could just gloss over it, but
Yeah.
it's really exciting. And that was a great thing last night, like I said, to do with the 6:30 group, because they're all at different stages, but they've all had incredible breakthroughs. And so as a coach, that was the best thing to experience.
So if that's you, become one of our favorite stories.
Yeah.